Hey humans, how are you? Today I have you another oil painting time lapse. This painting is titled The Best Investment, and this is what it's about. I used to think growth was something you could pack in a suitcase, that you could buy a plane ticket, move to a new city, meet new people, and somehow become a new person. And in some ways, that was true. Every place I've lived gave me something. But the most profound changes in my life didn't come from movement. They came from stillness, from sitting quietly with a book in my hands. This painting is about that kind of transformation, the quiet kind. The kind that no one sees from the outside, but that shifts everything on the inside. I named this piece The Best Investment because that's what reading has been for me. The most valuable, consistent, life-altering return on time I've ever known. Books have stretched my thinking, softened my edges, held up a mirror and reminded me I'm not alone. The scene I painted is simple, a woman reading in her room. There are stacks of books around her, a curtain pulled to on one side, and a soft kind of mess in the background. She's absorbed, fully there, not trying to multitask or look busy, just present. I painted her in purples, tones that feel internal, reflective, a little bit nostalgic. There's something about that palette that slows the viewer down. It mirrors the experience of reading itself. Rich, layered, emotional, quiet. There's a pile of books around her, but she's only focused on one. That's something I think about often, how even just one book can change you. We think we need a plan, a system, a strategy to evolve. But sometimes one well-timed idea from one chapter is enough to open a door that was locked inside us for years. I still remember the first book that cracked me open. It wasn't some great classic or best-selling guide to life. It was just the right book at the right time. It said something I didn't know I needed to hear, and suddenly my whole life up to that point looked different. Books have that power. They can reframe your past and realign your future, all while keeping you grounded in the present. When I was younger, I believed the fastest way to grow was to go somewhere new. And don't get me wrong, traveling did teach me things. It taught me adaptability, it introduced me to new cultures and perspectives. But it wasn't until I started reading, really reading, with intention, that I understood what it meant to grow from the inside out. Reading expanded my worldview in a way that no flight ever could. And the best part? It's accessible. You don't need a passport. You don't need to uproot your life. All you need is time and your willingness to pay attention. I think we underestimate how radical it is to pay attention these days. To sit down with no distractions, no noise, no scrolling, just you and the words. When I paint a scene like this, just a woman, a book, a quiet room, I'm not painting stillness. I'm painting movement, internal movement, emotional movement, the kind of transformation that doesn't shout but whispers, the kind that doesn't need to be posted or shared to matter. It just matters because it changes how you show up in the world. People sometimes ask why I paint ordinary moments. Why not bigger, more dramatic, more eye-catching? But to me, this is dramatic. A woman reading in her room is a revolution. She's not performing. She's not producing. She's not consuming passively. She's engaging. She's reflecting. She's expanding her mind. We live in a time that rewards speed, fast results, fast money, fast answers. But reading teaches the opposite. It teaches patience. It teaches nuance. It teaches you to sit with discomfort and complexity, to follow a thought all the way through, not just until it gets hard. And painting is a little like that too. This piece didn't come together in a single session. There were days when I loved it and days when I questioned every brushstroke. But I kept coming back to it, layering, adjusting, slowing down, because I wasn't just painting her. I was painting everything that moment represents. You can't rush a painting like this, just like you can't rush real growth, or healing, or clarity. You show up, you do the work, and one day, without realizing it, something shifts. I've always believed art and reading are two sides of the same coin. One is input, the other is output. One fills me up, the other one lets me release. And when they work together, something beautiful happens. You don't just consume the world, you start creating your place in it. There's a quote I love, something along the lines of, "Books don't just teach us about the world, they teach us how to be human in it." And that's exactly what this painting is about. It's about the version of yourself you meet when you read, the version that's curious, open, still learning, the version that's not defined by what she does or where she lives, but by how deeply she thinks and feels and cares. That's what I hope people see when they look at this painting. Not just a pretty image, but a reminder, a portal into a slower, more intentional version of themselves. I think we all need that reminder sometimes, that we don't have to be constantly doing or going or proving, that sometimes the most productive thing we can do is sit down with a book and give it our full attention. Because every page you read adds to the architecture of your mind. It builds bridges where there used to be walls. It plants seeds you don't even realize are growing until one day they bloom in your decisions, your relationships, your art. That's the real return on investment. Not immediate results, but long-term transformation. So, if you're watching this and feeling stuck or restless, like something in your life needs to change, my advice isn't to pack your bags, it's to find a book. One that challenges you, one that makes you feel seen, one that scares you a little or shows you a world completely unlike your own. And then let it change you. Because reading is the one act of self-growth that always gives more than it takes. It's a mirror, a window, a compass, and it costs nothing but your time. So that's what this painting is about. It's about the quiet hours we give to ourselves, the hours no one else sees or claps for, but that shape us more than any milestone ever could. The room she's in, that could be anywhere. Her story, it could be anyone's. But what matters is that she's there, showing up for herself, turning the page. And maybe that's the message, that we don't need to escape our lives to change them. We just need to read differently, to live a little more like we are reading, fully present, curious, and open to where the story might take us next. Reading is the quietest revolution and the most generous thing you'll ever do for yourself. By the way, if you're interested in getting this painting, this is an oil painting on a canvas panel. It's 8 inches by 10 inches, and I will be selling the original and framed as is on my Etsy shop, and you can find the link to that in the description below. And I will also have some prints and merch on my Redbubble shop, also link in the description. And yeah, let me know what you think. I always answer to all the comments, and I love to know what's your experience with reading, or maybe how did like moving and traveling changed you or open your views of the world versus reading. I would love to know. And yeah, without further ado, see you in the next video. Bye, humans.